The town woke slowly that morning. Sunlight touched the empty road first, then the quiet houses, then the closed shop doors that had seen generations pass without asking questions. The air was warm but still. Even the birds sounded careful, as if they knew this day was holding its breath. Outside a grand hotel at the center of town, white roses lined the steps in perfect rows, each one placed with care. A black limousine waited near the entrance, polished until it reflected the sky. Everything looked flawless, calm, planned, yet beneath the beauty lived something sharp and unkind, waiting for the right moment to show itself. Inside the hotel, guests moved softly across marble floors. Shoes clicked, dresses brushed past chairs, laughter rose and fell in polite waves. At the front stood the groom, Daniel, tall and confident, greeting people with easy smiles. He looked like a man who had arrived exactly where he wanted to be. What no one could see was the small satisfaction growing inside him. One invitation had been sent for a reason, not love, not closure, pride. Years earlier, Emma had stood beside him in rooms much smaller than this. Back then there were no flowers, no suits, no admiration, just dreams shared over late dinners and tired smiles. Emma had never been loud. She carried herself gently, almost disappearing in crowded spaces. She listened more than she spoke. She worked hard without asking to be noticed. When Daniel spoke about the future, Emma believed him. When money was short, she worked longer. When he was tired, she stayed awake. She gave him her time, her energy, and the quiet belief that one day his success would be their success. She believed in him more than she believed in herself. Success came, love did not stay. Daniel's voice grew distant. His eyes stopped looking for hers. The home they built together felt colder with each passing week. One afternoon he told her it was over, as if saying the weather had changed. There were no long talks, no apologies. Emma packed what she could into boxes and left with an old car and a silence that felt heavier than shouting. Weeks later, life shifted again, 3 heartbeats instead of 1. Emma sat alone when she found out, her hands trembling. Fear pressed against her chest until it was hard to breathe. She had no savings, no partner, no plan, but in that moment something steady rose inside her, not anger, not despair, responsibility, love, resolve. The years that followed were not kind, but they were honest. Days were spent working 2 jobs, nights were filled with rocking arms and soft lullabies whispered through exhaustion. Emma learned how to move through life while tired, how to smile when her body begged for rest. She learned patience, she learned strength, she learned how to keep going when no one was watching. Meanwhile, Daniel climbed higher. He told stories where he was the hero. He spoke of freedom and new beginnings. He never spoke of the woman who once held everything together. When he met Sophia, polished and admired, his world felt complete. She fit the image he wanted the world to see. As the wedding day approached, Daniel made a choice. He sent Emma an invitation. In his mind, it was the final proof. Proof that he had won, proof that she had lost. He imagined her standing at the edge of the room, small and forgotten. When the envelope arrived, Emma held it for a long time without opening it. Part of her wanted to throw it away. Another part thought of her daughters, now 6 years old, watching her every move. This was not about revenge, it was about dignity. She wanted them to see what quiet strength looked like, so she decided to go. The morning of the wedding arrived bright and golden. Guests stepped out of expensive cars. Cameras flashed, laughter echoed across the steps. Daniel stood taller than ever. Sophia smiled easily, certain of her place. Then the sound of another limousine cut through the noise. Heads turned, conversations paused. The chauffeur stepped out and opened the door. 3 little girls stepped onto the red carpet, holding hands, yellow dresses, steady steps, curious eyes that did not look down. Behind them came Emma. She wore a deep green gown, simple and elegant. Her face was calm, her posture steady. She did not rush, she did not hesitate. She walked forward with her daughters beside her, each step carrying years of quiet work, late nights, and earned peace. The air changed. Whispers spread, Daniel's smile faded. For a moment, guilt flickered across his face before pride pulled it away. Sophia shifted, sensing something she could not name. Emma did not look at either of them for long. She did not need to. People watched the way her daughters looked up at her, the way she held their hands, the way she stood without bitterness, without fear. They saw a truth that stories had hidden. The ceremony continued, but nothing felt the same. Some guests met Emma's eyes and nodded with respect. Others looked away, understanding too late what they had believed. The girls laughed softly, unaware of the weight they carried just by being there. Emma sat through the vows quietly. She did not interrupt. She did not compete, her presence was enough. By the end of the night, no one spoke about the flowers or the dress, they spoke about the woman who arrived with grace and left with her head high. In the days that followed, people talked, not with cruelty but with clarity. Daniel's image cracked, Emma's story spread not as gossip but as quiet admiration. Her small boutique saw new faces, not because of pity but respect. Emma did not celebrate, she simply lived. Her daughters grew knowing their worth was not given by anyone else, and Emma finally understood that pain had shaped her but it had not owned her. True strength, she learned, does not shout, it walks calmly into rooms that once tried to break it. If this story stayed with you, please take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe for more soulful stories like this, and if you feel moved, comment one word below. Comment the word strength.